Okay, so social media basics. So social media is a marketing tool that has been used since 1997 and over time has been proven to be extremely effective. Social media is a well-oiled machine made with much data research and consumer psychology. So, the facts. Before you can reap all the benefits of successful branding and marketing, you must first build your brand, which takes time and dedication. A lot of us love to think that we are just going to get on there and we're going to drop some posts and boom, we got it. But building your brand takes 8 to 12 months of consistent brand focus. So, what that means is, it's not just like how we talked about understanding and developing, what are the color schemes my customers respond to? What is the imagery that they like the most? If you think about people who are, they do, oh my gosh, they're minimalists. We have like the minimalist trend, and it's like simplified and everything's white, and I can't say anything because if you see my bedroom, you'll think I'm a minimalist. But if you notice, like the color schemes are all the same. Like, no, I've never seen a minimalist that's just like rainbow anything. Everything is really like this beige, and they got an air plant in there, or something like that. It's just very, so when you're building your brand, you want to make sure you're focusing on what your brand needs to look like, and then also you need to consistently build it and post regularly. Now, to get brand visibility, so that is for people to actually see your page naturally, organically, for it to just pop up on somebody's thread, right? It takes roughly 6 to 9 months of consistent strategy to get brand visibility on social media. 6 to 9 months of consistent posting and all of that. So that's just something to consider as you are working. Do not feel like your efforts are for nothing. You have to just keep going. You have to keep doing it. And sometimes that does involve, okay, I have to have a budget of $5 a day or something like that to put towards my social media to get it going the way I need it to go. That's something to consider. Now, social media resources. Don't forget that it can take 6 months at minimum to see real engagement organically. And the key is creating ads, reviewing their reach, and then recreating them. So here's some tools for making ads. Canva is a great way just to get started if you're a beginner. It's a simple app, but it does take practice and patience. I think they're like regularly updating things. I think Canva does that. So it should be pretty simple to kind of get in there and start making things. Now, Fiverr, if you're not comfortable creating your own ads, Fiverr is great because you have graphic artists that you can contract basically to get in there and just do the work for you. That's wonderful. It's easy. And you can also look at the work they've done in the past, and then you can, you'll see like, oh, I like what they do. I want to hire them for XYZ. Now, with NDC, as I mentioned earlier, NDC is a great resource. They have independent contractors like myself that will get in there and they will make the graphics for you, and then we'll do branded graphics. So they will make sure that your graphics match, the fullness of your brand. So you're not dealing with like, things being weird or off. So I'm going to give you some examples of that on the next slide. So this is what branded graphics looks like. This happens to be my brand over here. It's called Flow. And as you can see, the color schemes are the same all throughout. Even the imagery, like even with this yellow thing here, I still make sure that my foundational colors is my actual brand, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your color schemes are consistent. And then you want to make sure that they're recognizable and similar. So if somebody is scrolling through Instagram and they see one of your posts, they should be able to recognize that it came from your page and it is your post, right? And so you also want to make sure that your colors all have lighting. So Instagram gives you all these different options for filters and things like that. If you're going to use the filter that makes everything more mauve or I don't know, gray, whatever the case may be, you want to use that throughout. You don't want to like, oh, I'm going to have vibrant pictures this day and then I'm going to have the dull pictures that day. You just want to have consistent imagery throughout. So limit the number of fonts you use. 2 contrasting fonts is safe. So you can see here, I think on all of these, we have, I think I use the same font through this whole entire thing. But here we have 2 different fonts, but they're pretty much the same. This one is just like that font. It's just bold. Here you see here we have the regular straight font, and then we have more of a script font. So make sure that if you are going to use multiple fonts, don't use too many different ones. 2, I would say, would be like a good max. Now make sure everything fits properly, and it's okay to go big. Like you see here, we have like coffee day. Like they want people to see coffee day. It's National Coffee Day, so they make it big. Here, there's not a lot of words here, but the words that are important for them are here. So, meet the YouTubers. It's big, it's bold. They're getting their message across, period. Now, I would suggest using contrasting colors. That kind of helps. Like you can see here, they have the navy and then the pink. Here I have the pink and then the gray, well, the dark, it's a dark gray, almost black, and then, or off black, I should say. And then I even have here the off-white. So here you see there's the black and the yellow, but it's consistent throughout. So, and even in their pictures, they use the same vibrant setting on all their photos. So, and be consistent in your messaging. Make sure it matches your brand standards. If you get on your social media and you are just really nonchalant, like if, God rest the queen, right? But if you get on there and it's like everybody's talking about the queen and you're like, oh, the queen died, hey, meh, if that's your post because you're nonchalant about everything, keep that energy. Don't, all of a sudden one day it's like somebody new has taken over the Facebook. You don't want that, or the Instagram. You don't want that. So if your energy is really like frou-frou and girly and, use all those heart emojis and all that stuff, use those things. Those are tools. If that's not what you use and that's not who you are, if you are have more humor or it's more dark energy, whatever the case may be, make sure that you're consistent. And then if you hire somebody to do your social media, they need to understand tone. Because you don't want to hire somebody new on your social media and everybody who gets on your social media can tell that you hired somebody new for your social media. You want the same tone throughout. Okay? So now we're going to look at some ongoing maintenance things. So to gain the most reach and building your brand, these are some things you want to do that's going to just really support you and help you in the process. And so the first thing I would say is respond to criticism, even if you don't want to. You become more trusted by your audience when you address an issue a customer has, opposed to trying to silence them. So what that means is if somebody jumps on your page and says, I ordered this and it sucked and whatever, unless they're a bot, you want to respond openly. You can respond as simply as saying, oh my goodness, we hate to hear that. We never want to have a dissatisfied customer. We pride ourselves on sending out quality products. Can we take this offline, or can I DM you so we can follow up and whether refund you or help you with this problem? If I see somebody say that to somebody on a thread, from the company, I'm going to trust that this is a good company. But if I see somebody, somebody say something negative and then all of a sudden the message just vanishes, I'm like, oh gosh, they might just silence me if I have a problem, or if I can't get a hold of somebody. So you become more trusted because the customers who are watching from the sidelines are able to see how you handle conflict, and they can further trust you as a company. So that's one way. So continually doing that, and then identifying with your audience. This is not about what you like or want. This is about what they want. Social media, you can say, oh my gosh, my social media is just for making sales. If that's not what your customers want, if they want memes, give them memes. What is that? The thing they say, let them eat cake. If they want the memes, give them the memes, So if you notice that's where you're getting a lot of reach, do a bunch of memes all week and make sure every now and then you drop in a sales post, and do it that way. So let go of limiting beliefs about social media. Social media is a tool, not a social club, despite popular belief. So you're really using it for what it's there for. So there's a lot of things that you can, there's a lot of tools out there to support you in actually using it to make your sales. But what I would say, there's one strategy that I shared, and I want to make sure I share it with you all as well, and it's called the $80 strategy. We don't talk about it here today, but you can write it down. But it's the $80, so $1.80. And it's a strategy where basically you spend, it says that basically that you spend the majority of your time pulling on customers or pulling customers in by engaging on other people's pages. So if you know anything about Instagram or Facebook, you can follow hashtags. So you can type in a hashtag like, let's say Tria, you want to type in construction workers or construction companies, something like that. You can type that hashtag in, you can follow that hashtag, and then when you open up your social media, you're going to see posts from pages that you don't follow that have content that relates to that. And then my suggestion, or the $1.80 suggestion, would be you go on to those posts and then you just organically type something like, oh my gosh, I love this remodel. We did something like this a few months ago. Period. That's it. Then people who see it, they're like, oh, we're looking for somebody. I wonder where they're located. Or they'll just see your comment. They're going to click on your page and they're probably going to go follow you. Or somebody else might follow you just because you commented on their page, on their post. So you're bringing activity and driving up the, algorithm on their post. So they might follow you just for the sake of you doing that. So it's little things like that. It's the same way with UD, the hashtag of like gluten-free meals or, gluten-free from scratch, whatever. You can follow these hashtags and then you can go in and you can start engaging